morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Market Today. This is a Saturday, but a very special truncated session on Dalal Street, not only to check the back-end disaster recovery mechanisms that our wonderful market has, but also to provide one extra day for trading because Monday is a holiday. All of Maharashtra and Mumbai go for elections. A very warm good morning to you once again. I am Shail Bhatnagar. Let's look at how the markets are structured. Remember, this is a truncated session which is again divided into two parts. We have a morning session from 9 to 10 a.m. and then one a little later. So it's a 45-minute trading round into two. So 90 minutes of trading, but split twice in the middle. We'll be shortly joined by Mr. Kiran Jani. He's the head of technical research at Janam Broking. A little later, Mr. Amar Singh, senior vice president for research at Angel One, will join us. And between 9:30 and 10 a.m., Avni Bhatt, senior vice president for equity research and derivatives at JM Financial, will be with us. Just a update on the pre-opening quotes. You have an 80-point uptick, 22,550. On the index. Kiran is already with us. I'll just mark a couple of stocks and then we'll have his August presence on the show. Let's look at what HDFC Bank is doing at the moment. Ladies and gentlemen, we don't have an opening quote. Now we have a rupee higher, 1465. It's TCS, which is the top performer amongst the Nifty index heavyweights, 71 rupees higher, 3905. Infosys is opening 11 rupees higher, 1455, and L&T, the star performer of this week, up about 5.6% so far, has added another 0.5% to its kitty at about 3468. Let's see whether Kiranji is able to hear my voice or not. A very warm good morning to you, Kiranji, and an equally wonderful morning, I am sure, at your place. A very warm welcome, sir. A nice uptick on the Nifty, and if we end in the green, that will be almost 5 out of 6 sessions this week that the market has ended in the green. How do you see the sentiment on the Dalal Street now? 22,500 is with the bulls.
Very good morning, everyone. So this is a Saturday and it's not a usual Saturday as market is open, and you guys mentioned that is the disaster recovery side. So just to make sure that the high volatile sessions are coming and to rescue all these kind of uncertain move, the exchange and regulator has been done this very nice work. So now coming to the market side, if you check out the Dow Jones closing or the daily chart of Dow Jones, it has clearly given a breakout, or it is giving a breakout from rounding bottom pattern. Recently, whatever the corrections has happened being recovered, and now it is starting for the new rally. So it is a very good sign for the Indian market also. However, the cautious side is only about the gold and silver move. Yesterday, we have seen that gold has moved 1.5%, while silver has moved more than 3%. More than 6%, I can say. So that particular move is just an cautious side, that precious metal and the commodity prices is rising. So inflation concern will be there. So there are reasons that in after our election result, there are chances that we can see some profit booking. Rest till then, overall, as you mentioned, last 5 sessions, the market traded with the high top, high bottom pattern, number one. Number two, the Nifty indices were tested is 100 days moving average. It was trading below 20 50 days moving average. Now it has recovered all that averages and trading, or I can say the weekly closed above those particular long term and short term moving averages. So Nifty is clearly into the bullish hand. Whenever or if any dips towards 22,300 to 23,400 would be the accumulation zone. Keep very strict stop loss to 22,050. And looking at all kind of a chart pattern on intraday, daily, weekly or monthly, we are expecting till election result, we can again retest its all-time high 22,800. Similar way, if we discuss about the Bank Nifty, the 48,100 would be the cluster resistance. Now since last 2 days, market is consecutively giving a close and sustaining above 48,000. Now there is a minor resistance of 20 days moving average, which is 28,250. So for today's, there are chances market will remain in the range of 48,100 to 48,200 because the truncate and participation will be less. But on Monday, there will be the holiday. But on Tuesday, we have to check out if market sustain above 48,200, then we can see some furious rally towards 49,000. So on Bank Nifty, we are giving conditional buy above 48,200. If market sustain above 48,200, we can go long with a stop loss of 47,700 and for the target of 49,000.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, that's the view that is coming on both the indices. The Nifty now about 45 points higher at 22,551. What we'll do is we'll take a quick detour into some prices which had jumped very sharply yesterday. Let's see whether that momentum continues or not, primarily in the PSU basket. Okay, let's look at how defense is doing. You have BEL 1.1% higher, 251. Remember, this is a record high. A bit of a mojo coming back into Hindustan Aeronautics. Remember, it had paused for a while on Friday after giving a blowout performance on Thursday, which was driven primarily by its results. 1% higher, 45.77. Let's look at what the three shipyards are doing. Cochin Shipyard is 0.5% higher. Garden Reach is 1/4% higher, and of course Mazgaon Dock flat at about 27.56. Let's look at the other PSU basket where gains are coming in. Dredging Corp 4% higher, 859. RVNL 4% higher, 302. Moil 1.9% higher, 534. These are the ones in the gains. Let's look at stocks that have slipped lower. NHPC 2.2% down, 97. You have a mild downtick on BDL, nothing to be worried about. Remember, it hit a record high yesterday. It's at 23.20. How about high beta counters? Let's look at what they are doing. Hindustan Zinc 1% higher. You have Polycab 0.7% higher. Policy Bazaar 1% higher. Let's look at cap goods space. Remember, this was the one that showed the maximum traction all of last week. Shakti Pumps, no stopping it, 5% higher, 26.81. You have a strong move coming in. Triveni Turbine 2.2% higher, 6.59. And of course, the bearing companies, Schaeffler 2.5% higher, 45.27. SKF India 2.2% higher, 6,100. So the mood and the anticipation in the market remains bullish. Kiranji, coming back to you, any space, any stock within the capital goods space you think still has some momentum on the upside? Of course, many charts such as ABB and Siemens remain overstretched. Anything within this space that catches your fancy, sir?
This capital goods sector, we are liking two stock. As you mentioned, that ABB and Siemens are overstretched, but within the sector, L&T one can look into. It is underperforming comparing to the peers only. I'm saying it has made an all-time high of 3,800, and from that level, we are seeing that L&T is continuously trading into the falling trend line. And this stock we discussed on Wednesday also, where the stock prices were trading somewhere around 3,800 to 3,400. Now it is 3,450. So we are liking L&T. Reason being, the peers has been outperformed very well. The stock being underperformed. So now this rally should catch up. Number one, number two. On technical front, we are seeing that stock has retested its 200 days moving average from extreme oversold territory to now into the neutral territory. On intraday time frame, we are seeing multiple bullish reversal candlesticks pattern also formed. So there are chances that we can see some good amount of rally should come into the L&T also. So at current market price or any dips toward 3,400 would be the great opportunity to enter in this particular stock. Keep very strict stop loss below 3,370, 3,360 level. And looking at daily chart, we are expecting price target of 3,700 in very short time. So Larsen is catching our eyes. And another stock in capital goods is BHEL. Bharat Electrical. The way all PSUs are moving, yesterday we have seen defensive PSU or even a railway PSUs were moving. You can see RVNL, IRFC has given a fresh breakout. So BHEL is one of the counter. It is again catches the height of high bottom pattern. We have seen the stock price has made its recent all-time high of 318. It's not all-time high, but we can see 52-week high of 318. From that level, stock has retested its 270 level, and we have discussed same thing. And after testing 270 level, it is trading above 300. So at current market price, BHEL definitely one can go long. Keep very strict stop loss below 290. And looking at current price chart, we are expecting price target of 320 to 330 in short time. So BHEL and Larsen can be the low.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, now the other pre-opens have also settled. The Nifty Bank is trying to open 81 points higher, 48,197. The Nifty 500 has settled smartly in the green, a third of a percent higher, and you have a green tick as well on the IT index. Remember, this is a truncated, reduced session of trading, which is actually checking the disaster management recovery site of the National Stock Exchange. Therefore, the circuit filters have been trimmed for all stocks, and they will be around 5%, and the stocks that you had purchased on Friday will not be sold today. That's the settlement issue that comes in. Nevertheless, it's going to be a great start. Let's hope the Nifty again ends in the green. Your view, Kiranji, on JSW Steel, a very strong set of earnings that came into the markets post markets yesterday, and of course the counter has been a very strong outperformer. Yesterday JSW Steel closed 2.2% higher. Needless to say, this is a record high. What do you think does time have in store for JSW Steel?
So all the metal sector, it is into the bullish zone, as we discussed about the precious metal also. If you check about the JSW Steel, the daily chart suggesting us that this price should move on height of high bottom pattern only. The moment we have seen that 900 was the cluster resistance, this is the second time the 900 level is facing as a resistance only. So any dips towards 880, 870 would be the accumulation zone, or even if you want to catch the momentum, wait market to sustain above 900 level. Once JSW still sustain above 900 level, then we can expect some furious rally towards 950, 980 in very short time. Or as an investor, if anyone is looking to the metal sector, definitely 880, 870 would be the great zone to enter, and keep a very strict stop loss below 840. So overall, you keep a very strict stop loss to 840, and we are expecting 4-digit target in very short time.
Okay, Kiranji, the entire Adani Group pack, which is a high beta space, is back in action all of this week. Would you have a favorite within this pack which you think looks substantially stronger on the charts? What do you prefer within the Adani Group?
So looking at entire Adani port, there are three stocks. Technically, is very sound. Is one of the Adani port is there, Adani Power is there, and Adani Enterprise is there. However, from all these three stocks, we are liking two stocks. One is Adani port, and another is Adani Power. So first I will discuss Adani Power, as we knowing that all the power generation, power distribution stocks are moving higher, and the way the summer is going on, there are chances this power consumption story keep intact, and we can expect some fire moves on these stocks also. So Adani Power trading at 640, 630 level. It is it's near its all-time high only. The stock price has given a consolidation from April to May month, and now there are chances to give a breakout from that particular consolidation. So we are expecting 700 targeting by the June end or maybe the July end. We can expect prices to touch 700. Today is the 630, 640. So keep very strict stop loss to 600 and buy on every dip for the target of 700. This is for the Adani Power. Now coming to the Adani port, there was some negative news yesterday or maybe day before yesterday on Adani port. But earlier we discussed this theme also, the port theme. The way G20 summit happened in India, and during that one corridor has opened for the port, and for India only two private player I can say available on the port side. One is the Adani port and another is the JSW infrastructure. Yesterday we have already seen a move on JSW infrastructure. Adani port is still the stock which we are liking for this port story. I am saying port and shipping story, I mean. So at current market price, 1335, 1340 is the level. You can keep buying on any dip towards 1300 or maybe the 1200. Keep very strict stop loss below 1200. And the way chart setup is suggesting us on monthly or weekly, if anyone is okay to give 6 to 8 months, right, we are expecting price target of 1600.
Right. Let's look at how prices have settled in the railway pack. Of course, there has been very strong momentum seeping back into these stocks on particularly Friday, which was yesterday, and to some extent even Thursday as well. So RVNL is settled about 3.7% higher, 301.4. Container Corporation has changed a digit, ladies and gentlemen. 1102, 1.4% higher. IRFC 1.2% higher, 171. IRCON about 0.5% higher, 269. That's how prices have moved in. RITES is half a rupee higher, and Railtel at 411 is about 0.5% on the uptick. Kiranji, would you have a favorite within the bearings pack? Look at how SKF, how Timken India and Schaeffler are moving. Anything in the lower price strata in this space that catches your attention? My apologies, the prices are with us. Let's look at the market open first. So 22,513, ladies and gentlemen, it's a 40-point uptick. The four major indices are in the green, 62 points higher on Nifty 500. The Nifty Bank is 37 points higher, and we have a 67-point uptick on the Nifty IT index. This is a good beginning. Remember, the first session is for about 45 minutes and will pause at 10 a.m. Okay, index heavyweights, 7 out of 10 are in the green. This is good. Okay, let's look at what HDFC Bank is doing. It's flat, 1465, 2 rupees higher. Let's look at what Reliance is doing. Flat, 2 rupees 30 higher, 2873. How about Infosys? 5 rupees higher, 1449. Let's look at what is L&T doing. This is again showing strength, 9 rupees higher, 3459. What we'll do, ladies and gentlemen, we'll take a very quick detour into the FNO space and the NSE 500 space. Okay, top gainers in FNO, Zydus Life 5% higher. Remember, the circuits now today are for 5%. Very strong set of earnings. Balkrishna Industries 5% higher, 2797. Container Corporation 1.6% higher. Z Entertainment 4.5% higher. You have a green uptick coming in on GAIL, Bharat Electronics, Indraprasth Gas. Okay, let's look at now the NSE 500 list. We've discussed a couple of stocks here already. RVNL 4.5% higher, 304. Schneider 5% higher, 919. You have SKF India 3% higher at 6172. Let's look at what is happening in the broader market in terms of advanced decline ratios. Very strong. 1421 shares in the green, 300 in the red. Ladies and gentlemen, we track 19 indices for you. All 19 of them are in the green, led by the Nifty Alpha Index 1% higher and the Nifty Media Index 1.5% higher. It's again the PSU set that's taking it away. Getting Kiranji into the conversation. Kiranji, anything that catches your fancy in these early trades?
So overall, it's initial trading session. So we are liking on IT side is Infosys. If you check out the Infosys chart on daily per time frame, the stock price were trading into the one rectangle pattern, has a resistance of 1450, 1460 level. Yesterday we have seen the stock price has crossed that particular level and sustained above 1440 level also. On intraday time frame, we are seeing some ascending triangle pattern breakout also. So Infosys is catches our eyes on derivative front as well as on looking at the volume side also. So today, if anyone wants to trade, they can go long with Infosys, or you can carry forward this particular trade also. And looking at the chart pattern, we are expecting price target of 1500 in very short time. So current market price, definitely one can buy Infosys with a strict stop loss of 1430.
Fair point. Infosys, ladies and gentlemen, is at a very critical juncture as far as daily charts are concerned. The 200-day moving average is of course at 1500 rupees, but at 1446 it's accomplished one major task, which is climbing above its 21-day exponential moving average, which essentially means in very simple terms that it's now a distinct buy than what it was a little earlier. Okay, now let's address the wider market. We've looked at how gainers have moved. I think Crompton Greaves is something that needs to be looked into, because it was a blowout performance yesterday, 0.5% higher, 393.5. What else is moving? I think it's the entire PSU pack, ladies and gentlemen. whether we like it or not, we'll have to pay attention to what the market is sticking at. Hindustan Zinc 4.5% higher, 616. Cochin Shipyard 3.9% higher, 1469. We have IRFC 2.3% higher, 174. Dredging Corp is 3% higher, 853. The likes of metal counters within the within the PSU space are doing good. Manganese ore, MOIL is 1.9% higher, 534. Let me just sort this in a very different fashion. Okay, now this is much better. You have a strong undercurrent of strength coming into the railway pack. Kiranji, this question is addressed on the PSU basket. Do you see a trend across the board in any specific subsector of the PSU segment? And if yes, what do you think is something good to buy?
So in entire PSU stock, as in opening commentary also we discussed that since yesterday the railway pack is back into the action, and another is the defense one. So defense ones, I feel it's a little bit overstretched. If any dips comes, then we would like to buy, or you can also go with the selective stock. But on railway side, there are two stocks which we are liking, and it was the hero for the last couple of months. That is RVNL and IRFC. The both stock has given a fantastic rally previously. Let's talk one by one. RVNL made an all-time high of 350. From that particular level, stock made a low of 200. And from this particular price range, we have seen that stock price has consumed almost 3 to 4 months. So it was a price fall plus consolidation for this last 4 months. And now again stock price is giving breakout from that particular consolidation. So it's a clear indication the fresh rally should start. So RVNL trading is somewhere around 290-300 level at current juncture. Anyone can go long at current market. A fresh investor also can go long at current market price. And let's keep a very strict stop loss of 270. And looking at looking at the daily price target chart, we're expecting RVNL to touch 350, 340 level in very short time. Another stock, IRFC, is also similar fashion. IRFC has made all-time high of 200 kind of, and from that particular level, stock price corrected to 116, 170 level. From that, stock price again 170 level. It is given breakout of inverted head and shoulder pattern. There are ascending triangle pattern also is there. Stock price is trading above its all-time, all the moving averages. Momentum indicators also bullish zone. So multiple reason to go long. So IRFC is also stock 170, 180 is the price range. You can accumulate this particular stock, keep very strict stop loss below 155 and expecting price target of 200. So on PSU basket, the subsector would be the railway, and in railway, RVNL and IRFC would be the price momentum. So for the price momentum chase.
Fair point. You've sort of hit the nub on the head, and that's the segment that's doing pretty well. Something in the frontline space, Kiranji, apart from Infosys and L&T that you prefer on the long side?
Another thing which we are liking on the blue chip company, or I can say frontliner or the large cap, is the private bank. So in private bank, HDFC catches our eyes. If you check out the bank Nifty chart, the PSUs are doing very good. Recently, HDFC was also given a breakout from its ascending triangle pattern from 1480 level, made high of 1560, where the 200 days moving average were the resistance, and from that level, it has again somewhere around its previous breakout level. So definitely HDFC Bank catches our eye. At current market price, we can go long on HDFC Bank, keep very strict stop loss below 1420, and looking at price target, we are expecting the HDFC Bank to move towards 1530, 1515 short time. So HDFC Bank is one more candidate we are liking from private bank. And sector wise, if you want to churn out, then auto sector we can keep an eye. Recently stock price has given from auto given multiple breakout. The Tata Motor is underperforming. However, if you check, the Hero Motor Corp has given a fresh breakout. So in auto, we are liking Hero Motor Corp. It has given a breakout from the consolidation of last 3 months, and it is a fresh breakout of 4900. Currently, stock price is trading somewhere around 5100. So any dips towards 5050, 5070 would be the accumulation time. keep very strict stop loss below 5,000. And looking at price chart pattern, we're expecting price to touch 52, 5,300 in upcoming time. So we are giving two different sector. One is private bank, HDFC Bank, and auto, Hero Motor.
Kiranji, a very quick look on Vedant. This is running away now, 4% higher, 461.25. What are the charts telling you?
So if you check out, as we discussed about the Nifty metal and JSW also, the Vedanta is one of the counter which has given a recently flat pattern breakout at 390 level. And if we consider that particular chart pattern, then we are expecting price target of somewhere around 500. The stock price is trading somewhere around 440, 450 level. So definitely it is a very good stock to enter at current market price also. Definitely the momentum indicator is on very higher side and overbought zone. So there are chances if we can found any dips towards 440, 430 would be the great level. So current market price is 460. So for fresh entry, we are just want to wait and watch, and dips towards 440, 430 would be the level where we want to enter. Whoever is holding this particular stock, they can keep holding this particular stock with the very strict stop loss of 420 for the target of 500.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, let's look at some other prices which have already hit the 5% circuit. Remember, this is the maximum that a share can travel to in the both directions, plus or minus. So you have a 5% circuit on Bharat Dynamics, 2440. You have a near 5% circuit on Mazgaon and Cochin Shipyard as well. So there is absolutely no let up as far as speculative interest and deep buying that's happening across the PSU spectrum, specifically in the railway space and the defense space. Within the Nifty 50, let's look at how strength and losses are structured. Okay, ONGC is a percent higher, 280.2. Hindalco and Power Grid are adding 1% each. Hero Motors, Nestle and Dr. Reddy's are also amongst the gainers, although just 0.5% each, but that's how the market is structured. A very strong move is coming across all indices, as I had mentioned that all 19 of them are in the green. We'll again dip into the NSE 500 because that's where the maximum amount of action is happening. Let's look at the most active counters, ladies and gentlemen. No surprise here, and Kiranji was right. It was the railway theme, 2.2% higher, IRFC 173.60. Interesting. Okay, let me just give you this wonderful data. We are looking at the top 10 traded counters in the NSE 500 based on volume. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Top 7 are PSUs. Then within the 15, if you look at, you have BDL, BHEL, IRCON and as well. So ladies and gentlemen, it's a blowout PSU day that is happening as far as Dalal Street is concerned. 9:29, Kiranji, before we bid you goodbye, anything that has caught your attention?
So overall, which another stock or another theme which we are liking is the footwear theme which we are liking. If you check out the Bata India or a Campus Activewear, both has given a very good reversal, bullish reversal pattern at current juncture. So Campus, we can liking at current market price. Anyone can go long at current market price somewhere around 250, 260, I can say, and it has given a breakout from inverted head and shoulder. So Campus is very good at current market price. We are expecting price target of 300 in very short time. So it's not only for the intraday or maybe the day or 2 3 days. You can plan for 15 to 20 days. If you are holding Campus, we are expecting price target of 300. So at current market price, anyone can go long on Campus, keeping a very strict stop loss of 250 for the target of 300.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's 9:30. The index is 47 points higher, 22,514. Kiranji, thank you so much for your time, especially on a Saturday that you took out for our viewers and to elucidate on such wonderful thoughts that are coming from the market. Thank you so much for your time. And within a very short while, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Amar Singh, Senior Vice President for Research at Angel One, and Avani Bhatt, Senior Vice President for Equity Derivatives Research from JM Financial, will be joining us shortly. Let's take a detour before they get mic'd up. A couple of stocks. I'll focus on the mid-cap space. Remember, the mid-cap Nifty 100 index is already at a record high. Let's look at some prices that are ticking within this space. After a very long time, you see a green tick on Z Entertainment. 4.5% higher, 141.25. It's a breakout that is happening, ladies and gentlemen, on Aurobindo Pharma. I believe this will be a record high, 2.9% higher at 1198. Very strong momentum now coming into pharma. Let's look at the all-time highs within the mid-cap 100 space. It's Balkrishna Industries, driven by earnings. The counter, like I mentioned, up 5%. This is the maximum that a stock can go today, given the restrictions that are placed on circuit limit. Remember, we are on the disaster recovery testing as far as the National Stock Exchange is concerned, and this is something that you can look at. BDL up almost 4.5%, 24.37. Mazgaon Dock, so it looks like a defense play that's happening on the all-time high list as well. Cummins India, Ashok Leyland, and of course JSW Infra. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, after a very long time, I see a decent green tick coming on Geo Finance. We haven't had Geo Finance in discussions over the last 20 odd trading sessions, so maybe a reverse move, a swing trade to the long side has come in. Aurobindo Pharma, I think we need to look at Aurobindo Pharma because it appears to be a very strong blowout that's happening on the charts. The price that I see is, yes, 1210, 1203. This is a record high, and on the 5 trading sessions before today, the stock had dipped for about 3. So a nice up move is now in the making as far as Aurobindo Pharma is concerned. Engineers India, Indian Oil Corporation are also in the green, and this is something that we need to pay attention to. I'm waiting for Avani Bhatt to join in for us to take a technical view. In the meantime, the Nifty is now trying to negotiate a very stiff resistance, ladies and gentlemen, 22,515. Let's look at the pullers and draggers on the index at this point of time. Those signify strength as well as partial weakness. Okay, it's the IT pack that is showing strength. TCS and Infosys together 4 plus 3, 7 points. SBI in the green after a long while, 3 points higher, 821. Power Grid and ONGC also showing a mild uptick. What's pulling the index lower is the earnings boy JSW Steel a mild bit of profit booking, 1.4% lower. Nobody would deny that to JSW Steel. It has been a blowout performance on JSW Steel. ICICI Axis Bank mildly in the red, and of course Shree Cement and Davies Lab. It's the metal space, ladies and gentlemen. National Aluminium Steel Authority in the green, and my PCR is telling me that Mr. Amar Singh has joined in, Senior Vice President for Research at Angel. Good morning to you, Amar. Thank you for taking your time out on a Saturday. How do you see this wonderful move that we've seen all through this week? Of course, 22,500 is with the bulls. How do you see sentiment on Dalal Street? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I would say that markets have definitely surprised people, and what we are seeing is that overall, if we see, we've seen some very sharp pullback in the markets, and also what we are witnessing is that across the board, across sectors, we are seeing some upside move. So that's one positive indication, definitely. And also, if we look at the major heavyweights, so somewhere or the other, that also is the positive aspect. So having said that, if we look at the most of the stocks in the index heavyweights, so there we are seeing some positive upside move, be it the likes of Reliance, or if you look at HDFC Bank to a certain extent. So they seem to have formed a base. So somewhere or the other, the markets are clearly indicating that there could be a more, I would say, some volatility going forward. But overall, the trend for the market remains positive from a long-term perspective. Medium-term, short-term, we are seeing some sort of consolidation. But Nifty has taken out a major zone of resistance, which I had earlier talked about, 22,300, 400, 300 zone. So that sustaining above that level is a positive sign. And also we look at the advanced decline, so that also is positive. So that's, I would say, we'll have to wait for fresh triggers, and also we need to look at India VIX. So which I would say is somewhat, not I would say cooling off very much, but indicating that some sort of top has been made.
Okay, let's also welcome Avni Bhatt, Senior Vice President for Equity Derivatives Research at JM Financials. Good morning to you, Avni, and a very warm welcome. Thanks once again for joining us on this Saturday morning. How do you see stocks within the PSU basket? Any favorites there? And what is looking good on the charts?
Good morning, everyone. And yes, so markets are showing a lot of resilience, and I think the PSU space is somewhere we are seeing the maximum action in last 2-3 days. And most of the stocks from this sector are doing good. One of my favorites from this particular place, BEL has already run up. I'm looking at Power Grid right now. So Power Grid, I think it's given a breakout about the weekly resistance zones, and the stock should be heading towards around 335 to 340 in a very short term. So, and currently, from current levels to any dips up to around 315, one can accumulate the stock and keep a stop loss of 305 and target around 340 levels on the upside in a very short term, probably by month end also.
Okay. Avni, sticking to you, cap goods have blown out on the charts. Look at how ABB, how Siemens, how Bharat Bijli are performing. Bearing stocks are in very thick demand, and of course, old favorites like BHEL, L&T are also coming back into action. Anything that you believe represents a short-term opportunity on the charts on the long side?
I would say you can look at L&T from a slightly medium-term perspective. It's a no-brainer. I think the stock has been beaten down quite a bit, and it's formed a base, consolidated for last couple of days, And now I think it's ready to move back to around 3750 to 3800 levels. So best pick would be L&T from this current levels, and one can if at all there is any dip going ahead in next couple of days, one can add the stock up to around 3400 and keep a stop loss of 3320 on the downside. The upsides are up to 3800. This move is going to be gradual, slow, but one can keep a medium term perspective from about 2 to 3 months time frame.
Okay, fair point. Let's get Amarji also into the conversation. Amar, would you have a view on L&T? The stock has been the best performer this week as far as the Nifty is concerned. Now up almost 6%, but it had a terrible last week. Your view on L&T from current levels?
What we are witnessing in L&T is that post the spectacular rally, we witnessed some profit booking happening from almost 3800 levels to as a recent low of 3200, 3220. So from those levels, the stock has bounced back. And if you ask me on an intermediate term basis, what we are seeing is the stock had moved in oversold territory, and also the stock was close to a very crucial support zone. So the stock has bounced back from those levels. And also, if we go back and see on 9th of May, the stock had significantly heavy volumes as compared to average volumes for the last 50 to 60 trading sessions. So that tells me that a lot of activity has happened around the 3300 zone. So that should act as a crucial zone of support for L&T. But again, on the upside, if you ask me, the intermediate term trend is clearly telling that the stock could go in for some consolidation. On the upside, we could see the stock meeting with resistance around the 3600, 3650. So it's more of a range play for L&T. However, the long-term trend still remains intact, but in the short term, it could be in for some consolidation.
Fair point. Let's also discuss two stocks. Amarji, coming first to you, I want your view on Geofin. The stock has sort of come back to life after a fairly decent and a fairly deep correction. We saw 390 on 23rd of April, and we've seen almost 340 on 13th of May. So a decent 50 rupee downtick on the stock, but now sort of edging higher. 362, what are the charts telling you?
If you ask me, see, there's not too much of data from a long-term perspective. So if I look at from an intermediate-term perspective, it is showing some signs of pullback. And on the daily charts, it's moving from oversold territory. So that tells me that the stock could move up further. But the next level to watch out would be resistance, would be somewhere around the 375, 380 zone. That's a zone of immediate level of resistance. That's roughly around 4-5% from the current levels. So that's a level to watch out for. Sustaining above that level, then the stock could trade significantly higher. But otherwise, the stock would be in for some consolidation.
Okay, let's get Avni into the conversation. Avni, would you hold a view on Geofinance?
Yes, so from a short-term trading perspective, I think it has moved above the short-term moving averages. So now these short-term moving averages of 20 and 50-day exponential moving average on the daily charts should provide some support to the stock going ahead, and it should show a move up to around 380 to 385 levels. And on the downside, the support base has been formed very well at around 345 to 347 levels. So that is the support one should look out for. On the upside, target up to around 380 to 85.
Fair point. Before I get on to the next stock, let me just mark the big daddy of them all, which is Hindustan Aeronautics, ladies and gentlemen. It started to move, and it's on the green side. Remember, it paused for a bit on Friday, but given the strength that is there in the defense pack, now it's the turn of HAL to show its mojo. It's already up 3.2%. Remember, today's circuit is just 5, but we are just marking the price 46.84. Avni, first to you. This is almost going like a rocket. What do you think of HAL?
Basically, the stock we had recommended last week only at around 3,800 to our clients, and our targets have been met. 4,600 was our target, and but going ahead, looking at the strength in the stock, I think one should just trail the stop loss to 4,600 and hold on for 4,800 levels, which does not seem to be a very far-fetched level currently. So one should hold on to the stocks, but keep trailing your stop losses to higher levels so that if at all there is any kind of correction for whatever reason, you should be booking out profits and not get trapped at the higher levels.
Fair point. That's a sensible, practical advice. Although those who have delivery of Hindustan Aeronautics, ladies and gentlemen, my advice is to you is to just lock it in some safe deposit and don't even look at it. That is something that you need to do for at least the next couple of years as far as Hindustan Aeronautics is concerned. Of course, please also take a view from an independent financial advisor. Getting Amar into the conversation, a blowout on Aurobindo Pharma, Amar. This has been one of the highest beta counters that has taken part in the FNO space, 1210. What are the charts of Aurobindo Pharma telling you in the medium term?
So if you look at Aurobindo Pharma, so Aurobindo Pharma is clearly in an uptrend. There's no doubt about it. The stock did consolidate and did manage to sustain above the 1100 levels, because earlier 1100 was acting as a zone of resistance. So that has been taken out and the stock is up by almost 8 to 10% from those levels. And also what we are seeing is that the intermediate term trend, which was earlier more or less to a certain extent flat, that has changed track. And we are seeing momentum coming there in the intermediate term trend as well. The stock has broken out of its quarterly highs as well. And also, if we look at the long-term charts, the trend still continues to remain very strong and the momentum is there to stay. And looking at the volume and the delivery quantity data over the last, I would say, 12 to 15 trading sessions, that has also been significantly higher as compared to the averages. So that bodes well for the company and the stock. So if you ask me, the stock is now trading at almost its record highs. So the stock has a potential to rally from these levels towards 1250, 1260 levels. On the downside, the stock is very strongly supported around the 1140 levels.
Okay, let me just give you an interesting data. I have seen the quarterly performance of all all FNO stocks, and let's focus on the pharma space. Aurobindo Pharma is up 16% over the last 3 months. Of course, there have been two other stocks which have outperformed Oro, but on the third slot within the pharma space lies Aurobindo Pharma. Strong traction coming in. Hindustan Aeronautics, I believe, would be up at circuit now, 47.39. There's no stopping as far as this particular stock is concerned. Let's look at Nestle. Nestle, ladies and gentlemen, did a shareholder vote about further raising its royalty payment on its sales to parent Nestle SA from Switzerland. Well, that proposal has been defeated by shareholders, and at this point of time Nestle, I think, would be 1.5% higher, actually 2% higher. This is not a stock that we normally track or take view on, but Amar, what are the charts of Nestle telling you? 4 days of downtrend and now at about 2500 almost.
If you ask me about Nestle, this is one stock which really hasn't done much for the last 4 or 5 months. And the stock seems to have formed some very strong base around the 2400 odd levels, because recently 2400, 2410, 20, that's acting as a very strong base. The stock is up from those levels. But again, on the upside, if you ask me, somewhere towards 2550, 2560, that's an immediate zone of resistance for the stock. If you ask me on the intermediate term trend, the stock is in for consolidation, so it's not going to rally in a hurry till the time it doesn't take out the 2550, 2560 zone. So, but it's a very good from a trading perspective. So till the time we don't see the stock sustaining of the 2550, it could be in for some consolidation.
Okay, just a point of note, this consolidation started on Nestle after the counter announced a 10-for-1 stock split that came somewhere in the early part of January, early part of 2024, and from then on, as Amar says very clearly, it's a point of consolidation, a low of 2420 and a high of 2760. So that's the band in which this stock has been moving, and this news is positive for shareholders over the longer term. And between the time Amar started speaking on Nestle and now, we've had another 15 rupees added to it. Getting Avni into the conversation, anything that catches your fancy, Avni? We are now at 9:50. There are 10 minutes left for this session to pause.
So I think the capital goods space looks good, and from that, one of the stocks that I would like to draw your attention on is AB Capital. So AB Capital has given a very a very good consolidation, and post that it has started moving up. Now in last 4 days, right from the short-term trading perspective to even from a medium-term perspective, I think the stock has consolidated pretty well, and it is looking good to test around 245 to 250 levels on the upside. So this is a good bet to add on for the next couple of days. And on the downside, the support base has been formed well at around 211. So that can be kept as a stop loss. Add up to on dips up to around 220, and target the area of around 240 to 245 on the upside.
Fair point. The other sector that's started to move, ladies and gentlemen, is the power space. I see a strong uptick coming on Tata Power, a percent higher, 442. Let's try and analyze this stock for two reasons. One, there is a huge heat wave that's going on in definitely North India and large parts of India, and power demand is peaking rapidly. Okay, we are now at 441. That takes us back to a 3-week high on the stock. Avni, sticking to you, what are the Tata Power charts telling you? All-time high of 463. Is there a chance for recouping?
From an ultra short-term trading perspective, I think one can add the stock for a target of 460 and maintain a stop loss of 426 on the downside. But comparatively, as I said at the beginning of the show, I think I like Power Grid more than Tata Power, because the momentum is good. The volume activity, both in the cash segment and the F&O space, has been good in last couple of days. So comparatively, I would go for Power Grid and Tata Power. From a very short-term perspective, one can trade for a target of 460. But no major fireworks in this particular.
Fair point. Amar, getting you into the conversation first on Tata Power, and anything that catches your fancy in the closing moments of the first session.
Looking at Tata Power, I would say Tata Power has been on a tear, and the stock has really proven to be a multi-bagger. But the way the stock corrected over the last week, making a low of almost, I would say, 400 levels from 464 odd levels. But the way the stock again has bounced back. So that tells me that the stock is likely to touch its all-time highs of 460, 465 levels. But again, it could be in for consolidation. So 400, 465, 470, that's a range for the stock. But one needs to definitely remember that the long-term trend for the stock remains extremely strong and positive. So that's the reason any pullback is being used as a buying opportunity. One stock to look at is, you can say, definitely look at Engineers India Limited. The stock is has bounced back significantly over the last few trading sessions. And also, if we go back in time, the stock had made a high of 269 in 2010. And it is the first time that it's again, after post that, it's reached that level. So that clearly tells me that the stock is in for some major rally. The trend remains very strong and firm. So this is one stock one can look at. The only question is the risk-reward ratio. But yes, one can look at this stock. Important support for the stock is below 240 levels. And sustaining over the 270 mark, the stock has the potential to rally anywhere between 10 to 15% from the current levels.
Let's get the BEL chart on the screen, ladies and gentlemen. 257.95, 3.6% higher, and a decent uptick in open interest as well. Amar, if you can hear my voice, would you want to comment on BEL?
Yeah, so looking at BEL, again, this stock has, I would say, performed exceedingly well. In this week itself, the stock is up by almost 13%. And the stock did witness some consolidation, but the trend remains extremely strong for the stock. So those who are long, they should definitely hold on to the stock because there's no trend change. There seemed to be a trend change, but that really didn't, I would say, materialize, and the stock continues to be on an upside move. Those long can hold with a stop loss below the 240 level. On the upside, the stock consistently sustaining above the 250 levels, the stock has a potential to rally towards 270 to 75 levels.
Fair point. And with that, Amar, thank you so much for your time that you spent on this lovely Saturday morning. Of course, the session is truncated and circuit limits are 5 up and 5 down. But lovely views, and thanks once again for the quality stocks that you discussed with our audience. Avni, we'll let you have the last word as always. And first, anything that catches your fancy in the 45 minutes of trade that we've had so far, and then I'll take a view on one stock that I have in mind. But first, what do you think so far?
So one can now that we've discussed a lot of aggressive stocks, aggressive sectors, I think one can look at some defensive names also. And what comes to my notice is IPCA Labs. IPCA Labs is showing a good recovery today. It's trying to move above the short-term moving averages. In case if it closes above 1300 today and does not dip back, then I think the stock looks good to rally up to around 1360 in probably just 2 to 3 days. So this is one stock that one can keep a watch on. A close about 1300 in the second half of the session today is very important. If that happens, I think you can carry the stock for next week for a target of 1360.
Okay, so this is the defensive play that Avni has in mind. We haven't discussed IPCA, Avni, I think for months together, and of course the pharma space has also been missing from our discussions. But again, thank you so much for bringing this one to our attention. And ladies and gentlemen, there's a mild pause in the market for the next maybe 45 minutes. Thank you, Avni, for the lovely time that you spent today with us, and of course on those wonderful views that we shared on screen. Okay, we'll pause at 10 a.m. ladies and gentlemen. The Nifty is flat as flat can be, 8 points higher, 22,472. Nifty Bank is 34 points higher, and the Nifty 500 at 54 points uptick. The tone, tenor and the underlying granularity of the market, ladies and gentlemen, belongs to the bulls. It was a blowout day yet again for PSU stocks, as also within PSUs, specifically defense and railway shares. We'll be having another round of this wonderful session a little later. Again, that's a truncated 45-minute session for checking the disaster recovery mechanisms on the National Stock Exchange. Again, the circuit limits will be 5 down and 5 up. Stay tuned to Business Today and Market Today for all your needs on the financial news side. For the moment, it's a goodbye from my side and from our PCR side. Thank you for watching. Have a nice Saturday.
Hello and welcome. You're watching Business Today Television. I'm Sakshi Batra.